Yo, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. This is your Ipswich Chelsea preview. And honestly, tomorrow, nothing but a win is necessary. I said that against Fulham. Well, that shit didn't go too well. Lost at home 2-1. And it was one of those losses that you could have easily prevented. 80 minutes to go, 1-0 up. And then you think, okay, you could just be able to see out this game, and then somehow we just really lost it. So tomorrow's game, like, I really just want to see us go away and just pick up all 3 points. Like, we've dropped 2 points, we've dropped points in 2 games now. Surely it can't be a third game running. I mean, Arsenal, already ahead of us now. Forest are also back in second. And it just really goes to show you how unpredictable the Premier League is, because, again, who would have really predicted Forest to be second above Chelsea and Arsenal? So, this isn't even like a straightforward game where we're going to go win. We have to really put in the work. And honestly, tomorrow I want to see Maresca really make a few changes to this team. Or if he's going to keep a lot of the guys who started against Fulham, I think he really has to have a talk with some of these guys. And, this will be an opportunity as well for some of these guys like your Palmers, your Gustos, your Tolsons, Caldwells, who had a shitty game last time. This is another opportunity to kind of put that mistake right. And then just show that this was a blip and nothing more than that. So far, so good. We've still been handling business. We've been doing our thing. And tomorrow's game is no different. In as much as like Ipswich haven't really been doing well. I mean, have they even won a home game at all this season? Probably one. If I'm not mistaken, let me see what their results have been. Let me see Ipswich results. Have they won any games at home this season? I really don't believe they have, to be honest. So, we should not be the club that goes over there and gives Ipswich, their first win. But knowing Chelsea, we are charity FC when it really comes to these, positions. Fulham hadn't won in 45 years. What do? We give them their first win. And then teams will pull up having a bad run of form. And guess what we do? We're charitable as usual. We're giving points for free. We're like, yeah, pull up, take whatever you want, get yourself comfortable, take off your shoes, and then take all 3. But I really honestly hope that this is a game where, we're able to get back on track. Like, if you look at Ipswich, your last game against Arsenal, they played really well. I mean, Arsenal won only 1-0, but again, Arsenal could have won by more and Ipswich could have gotten something out of that game. But even going to the Emirates and putting on such a show was really good. So them being at home, I don't think it's going to be straightforward. I don't think it's going to be easy. And we honestly have to be at our best if we're going to win. So without further ado, I'm really going to pull up my predicted starting 11. I feel like this is a lineup I would want to see from Maresca. Question is, with Maresca, he likes Sanchez a lot, and he's barely ever going to drop Sanchez. But I have Sanchez in this lineup because I think Maresca just ain't going to drop him. I think he's going to keep playing Sanchez till Sanchez really cost us big time. Like, he's already cost us in a few games, but I think he's going to trust him enough, and is this a game where you want to bring Jorgensen in? Potentially, because it ain't like Ipswich is the biggest of tests. Every game in the league is a test, but if you want, you can bring Jorgensen into this team. I just don't see Maresca doing it. I think he's going to rock with Sanchez till, I don't know. I'm going to play Gusto again. This is a game where you could play a Champong, but I want to give Gusto that, that opportunity to just rectify, that bad performance. I thought that was a very shambolic performance from Gusto in the last game. And this is a game where I think he needs to step up. Like Gusto of last season, he needs to be back. I don't know where the Gusto we had last season. We had this guy in conversations with, your Ben Whites, as a really capable backup for Reece James. And he was in those conversations against Pedro Porro and all these guys, from these other teams. But this season, I just think he hasn't really been on it. And he really needs to show us the form from last season. I don't know where Gusto's form is going, but we need it back. Tosin he's had a few good games since he's been into the lineup. And I don't really blame him for that game last game. I thought Caldwell playing everyone on side was really the culpable, kind of like the person who really made the biggest impact, because he really played Wilson on side, and Tosin and Cucurella were kind of holding the line really well. But Tosin, he's been pretty steady since he's been into the team. And yeah, Desasi is not going to play ahead of Tosin. Fafana's out, Badiashile is out. Tosin is going to get a run of games. Colwell, again, he needs to be proactive. Like the last game, Colwell was shit. Let's just be honest. I don't think he was great. So in this game, I really need to see Colwell just handling business, Colwell being Colwell. Midfield, Caicedo, Cucurella, for me, inverting Cucurella. I think Enzo pushes up a bit forward with Palmer. This was going to be a tricky one if you wanted to play Noni on one side, Neto on the other side. But, trying to maintain Neto's fitness and whatnot, I think maybe the best thing would just to have Noni coming in, having Joao Felix coming onto the other side. I think Sancho can do it a game on the bench. Not that he had a terrible performance against Fulham. I just don't think he was effective. And to be fair, you have a big squad. You have a squad where you can bring Felix into this team. You can bring Nkunku into this team and you can handle business. So I think that for me, Felix should get a start into this game. Palmer, Enzo, hopefully they can provide us with that creativity we really need. Against Everton, it was really lacking. Against Fulham, after we scored that goal, we just retreated and just kept letting Fulham get control of that game. And Fulham got a real, they just got some more confidence, and then they just put us to the sword. This game against Ipswich at home, I think Ipswich is still going to play some nice football, and they're going to come and attack us. So that really might open up, more space for your Nonis, taking on his fullback, Felix in those half spaces, because I know Cucurella is probably going to hold the width. Enzo drops a lot closer to Caicedo, and then Felix plays in those roaming positions, which really might give Ipswich a lot of problems. Felix in those half spaces, Palmer in those half spaces. Yeah, it's going to be a long day for Ipswich. But if they really, really just are very hard to beat, a low block, then, it might be a long day for us. Jackson up front, last game, didn't have a great game as well. Didn't get on the score sheet, but honestly, he's the best we got. Nkunku evidently just can't play the role like Jackson does. And Nkunku is not he's not a natural 9, and Maresca said that. Nkunku is not a striker. So, stop playing him up there. You have Gil on the bench. You want to make subs. Bring Nkunku in central. Keep Jackson on. Keep Palmer. You want to move Palmer to the right. Do that. Give yourself more attacking options to solve problems. I really don't understand it. If Palmer is being man marked out of the game and he's not really getting a lot of touches centrally, put him out wide. Let him be able to drift in. Let him have more of that, that free roll and that freedom to just roam around that right channel. So Maresca, for me, this game, I really want to see what he got. The changes that, most people would have said they wanted to see would have been Jorgensen in goal. Maybe Gusto on the bench for a Champong, but I honestly don't think a Champong is yet ready for that big step up. I think he's a good player. I just don't think he's ready for that step up. But I think Felix definitely starts this game. Noni comes into this game. And, as much as I like Neto on the right, and I've always wanted to see Neto on the right, there's times when I see him play and I go, you know what? Noni would have did this a lot differently. Noni would have taken his man on more. Neto is more of trying to get to the bar line and whipping across. Noni's more taking on his man, getting into the box and getting shots off. So I think different games, you're going to have different kind of you're gonna have different options when it comes to Neto and Noni. But I think tomorrow's game is a kind of game where you need Madueke to really, really, really take on his fullback and be very dangerous. Let him commit those fullbacks. Let him commit, those, wingers striking back, like whatever it might be. I think tomorrow he definitely has a good game. And can Jackson finish? Can Jackson hold the ball up? We know he could do that. Can he be clinical though? Like against Everton, Jackson takes two chances. We walk up with 3 points, and honestly, we probably beat Fulham. I think if we had won the Everton game, the momentum just carries into that Fulham game, and we would have done everything possible to win that game. But I think that little blip, it might hit your confidence just slightly, and it can still translate into your next game, which I believe it did. But this will be my lineup for this game. And the last game I predicted 3-1. I am not going to do that again. Um, I think my prediction for this game is really going to be, I think my prediction, I'm going to go a slight 2-1 Chelsea. I went 3-1 Fulham. Clearly, we lost that game. I don't want to jinx it again. So I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea. And I really pray, bro. Like, I pray we don't lose this game or even drop more points, because then our great start to the season and our good season starts to look a bit flunky. You know, we're going from second to like fourth and potentially fifth. Like, I don't want to see that happen. 2-1 Chelsea tomorrow. I think Jackson gets on the score sheet. I think Noni gets on the score sheet. Sanchez, again, we can see the go, but I think we hold on and we take the 3 points. Real quick, few fixtures tomorrow. Just want to touch on those really quickly. United play Newcastle tomorrow away. Actually, who's home? United are home. Newcastle are the away team, and this has to be a good game, and it will be a good game. The new manager bounce for United is not evident. It's not available. Like that excitement was very short lived. I think the new manager bounce really happened in the fans, and not it didn't really translate to the players, because United still played that dead football. And it's crazy to see United like this. What, just 2 wins in the last 5 games is, it's looking very spooky. And Newcastle are not going to be an easy team. You got Isak on form. You got Bruno, who's always going to control that midfield. What's it? Anthony Gordon. Like, I think tomorrow's game, I'm going to go with a 2-1 Newcastle win. I just don't see how United beat Newcastle in the form Newcastle are in. 4 wins in the last 5. They're coming in with some serious form. They've beaten Aston Villa 3-0. They're beating Man City. No, I'm sorry. Not Man City. Leicester City. They beat Brentford as well 3-1. They beat Ipswich 4-0. I think Newcastle just have too much for United. Even though United are the home team, because I can't see who scores the goals to win this game for United. Yes, Ahmad will be dangerous. Bruno Fernandes is out, so that's already another option you don't have in those false tens. Are you going to play Garnacho tomorrow? Do you bring Rashford into this team to see what he could do for you? I know Ahmed is going to play, but Mason Mount is injured, so who else is going to be the other 10? That's a question that Almiron will have to answer tomorrow, but I just don't see them winning this game, to be honest. So 2-1 Newcastle. Aston Villa Brighton, I think it's going to be a very good game as well. Duran out, red card. So Ollie Watkins comes in. Villa don't really have that threat off the bench now that Duran is going to be out. But I Villa, the home team. So I'm just going to kind of go with the home team. 3 wins in the last 5. Brighton have no wins in the last 5. And I'll just favor the home team. I think Villa probably take this. They win this 2-1 as well. So those are my score predictions. And then I believe on Wednesday, Arsenal play their game. Who do they play? Who does Arsenal play on Wednesday? Let's see. But either way, I think Arsenal still wins that game. So, Arsenal play Brentford. Oh, I take that back. Arsenal, Brentford. No Bukayo Saka. just got past Ipswich 1-0 at home. Brentford are one of the strongest home teams in the league. Yeah. 2-2. 2-2. I go 2-2 for this game. I think Brentford are going to be very stubborn to beat. I'm going to go 2-2 draw. And yeah, guys, that's the end of our predictions for this week. If this is your first time coming across the content, like the video, sub to the channel, hop in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.